On a quiet night in Abuja, 6 young Nigerians set out expecting an ordinary evening. Within hours, their names would become part of one of the country's most controversial police cases. At first, the story appeared straightforward. Authorities announced that 6 suspected armed robbers had been killed during a police operation. Information spread quickly through the media, presenting the deaths as the outcome of a successful anti-crime operation. But as more information emerged, families and journalists began asking difficult questions. The official account did not seem to explain everything. This is the story of the Apo Six Killings, a case that challenged official narratives, led to years of investigation, and finally justice. Behind the headlines were 6 young Nigerians each, with a family, ambitions, and a future that was suddenly cut short. The events unfolded in Abuja during June 2005, a period when concerns about violent crime had placed enormous pressure on law enforcement. According to evidence presented, the group had gathered socially that evening before their lives took an unexpected turn. Families waited for loved ones who never returned. At that moment, few could have imagined the tragedy that was unfolding. Within days, the case began attracting national attention. As new information surfaced, questions multiplied, setting the stage for one of Nigeria's most closely watched criminal investigations. According to the Nigerian police force, the events began as a routine stop at a police checkpoint in Abuja. Officers reported seeing a vehicle they considered suspicious and decided to stop it for questioning. Police officials said the occupants failed to comply with instructions to stop. The situation escalated rapidly, turning into a confrontation. Authorities stated that the vehicle's occupants opened fire on officers. Police said they returned fire in what they described as an act of self-defense. By the end of the confrontation, 6 civilians had been killed. Police maintained that those who died were armed robbery suspects. But as families spoke out, witnesses came forward, and independent investigations gathered momentum. Key parts of the police narrative were challenged. The case would soon become one of Nigeria's most closely examined allegations of extrajudicial killings. The families of the 6 victims began searching for answers. They rejected the police description of their loved ones as armed robbers. Witnesses described a very different sequence of events. They alleged that the victims had not attacked police officers. These accounts directly contradicted the official police narrative. Journalists and members of the public began calling for an independent investigation into what had happened that night. Human rights organizations urged authorities to conduct a thorough and impartial inquiry. They argued that the conflicting accounts made an independent investigation essential. What started as a police operation was becoming a national controversy. The pressure for answers continued to build, eventually leading to official investigations that would examine the evidence in far greater detail. Investigators were tasked with reviewing evidence, interviewing witnesses, and determining whether the police account matched the facts. Witnesses gave accounts that differed from the initial police version. Their testimony raised questions about how the encounter unfolded and whether the victims had posed the threat described in the official statements. As investigators reviewed forensic evidence, police records, and witness statements, inconsistencies between some parts of the original police account became a central focus of the investigation. The inquiry concluded that key aspects of the original police narrative were not supported by the evidence. It strengthened allegations that the victims had been unlawfully killed, which led to arrest of some of the policemen. The investigation marked a turning point. What had begun as a disputed police operation was now moving into the courtroom, where prosecutors would seek to prove that crimes had been committed. As the trial officially began, prosecutors laid out their case, alleging that the 6 men had been unlawfully killed after being taken into police custody. The court heard testimony from witnesses and examined forensic evidence. Both the prosecution and the defense presented competing accounts, each seeking to convince the court of its version of the events. For the families of the victims, every hearing represented another step in a long search for answers. Across the country, many viewed the proceedings as more than a single criminal case. They saw it as a measure of whether justice could be served when those entrusted with enforcing the law stood accused of breaking it. After years of investigation and legal proceedings, the court found 5 police officers guilty and sentenced them to death. For the families of the victims, the decision brought one chapter to a close, while the broader conversation about police accountability and justice continued.